Morning, good morning. How are we doing? How are we doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We are back with another edition of Make That Money. So far, we got 50-50 bullish, bias, bearish in the chat on the poll. But off the rip, agenda for this morning, we got today's bias, got key news, and then we're going to talk about some POIs that I see. And then we have a giveaway. Ooh. Giveaway will be at the end of the stream. Free market topics. Yep. So that's what we'll be talking about today, this morning. We'll let people kind of trickle in here in a second. It's Gimme Friday. Gimme a dub Friday. What a run on NASDAQ. I mean, YM yesterday. From the low to the high of yesterday. 2.5% run. 2.73% run. We got in on this candle too right here. And hopped out within before lunch, right? But this thing ran all the way up to this high. Pretty cool, pretty crazy move. We go look at the side-by-side chart. Yeah, YM was definitely the move yesterday compared to NASDAQ and ES, right? You kind of saw a run in the afternoon, but the morning really offered nothing. YM is where it was at, right? But yeah, he said in the chat, such a seasoned decision to participate in YM. Yeah, like I said, my main focus this year is to, like, the mistakes I'm making aren't really like oversizing, overtrading, whatever. I don't really deviate from the system. Now it's about focusing on which asset to trade. Is it ES, NQ, or YM? And why? Because one might show strength, one might show weakness, one might just look cleaner, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We talked about it yesterday, and it played out, right? So now it just comes down to like picking the right asset for me to give myself the highest chances of the trade working out in my favor, right? All I'm trying to do is stack the probabilities in my favor over a series of trades. But today, let's get into the bias for today. So far, it looks like we got 20 votes. It's 50-50 almost. Slightly bullish leaning on the day. We've tagged this high on the daily chart on YM here. Okay. And if we look left, we still have this high and this high on YM. But the weekly off that balance right here. Nice bullish reaction out of there. And then NASDAQ daily. Here's the weekly. Kind of continuing this run. We hit all-time highs, and then kind of this week has been a little lackluster, more consolidation this week. But you did see a nice reaction Nice closure out of here. You have SMT at these lows right here. So nice reaction there. We're at high of week now. We closed pretty strong yesterday above this candle's high. So I'm kind of anticipating bullish prices today. We're in uncharted territory. I don't see why we try and short this, because if you think about TGIF setup, that's usually when the weekly candle's been expanding through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? We didn't really expand to the upside until yesterday. So I'm kind of looking at this as a midweek reversal to just continue the bias higher on Friday. So we'll see. We'll get into the lower time frame structure here in a second. That'll give us some more info. But so far, I'm slightly bullish, kind of like the people in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll because you guys are going to change your votes. No switching up. Stick to your guns. But just based on this closure here on the daily, sorry if it's really small for you. I have a big monitor, so it's not that small for me. But right here, SMT at the lows with ES, as you can see, here and here, here and here. And then you had this nice closure above high of week, Monday's high. So all we've done in the weekly candle, look at the 4 hour. Form some SMT here. And the week opens, drops lower into the fair value gap on the daily, forms SMT, and we kind of have this weird, choppy close up here, right? But now we've opened up, slightly retraced. We're in this tiny 4 hour imbalance here. That's supporting price. Like right here. Hit that. Okay. So now we're kind of getting to the POI side of things. But before we get into that, let's go to ES daily. Same thing. ES, SMT here. Closes above high of week. And now we're chilling at all-time highs. So I'm still looking at this as your classic. You have your Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday, midweek reversal, Thursday expansion, looking for some kind of Friday expansion as well. So I'm bullish on the indices this morning. I don't see a reason to try and call a top when we're literally at all-time highs, printing new all-time highs today. I'm not looking to fade. Right, I need to see some structure on the daily that's going to get me short, some kind of closure. I mean, YM, this is a candle 2 closure here. Candle 3 expansion, right? We still have pending failure swings in this high. If we have another day like this, which I doubt we will because we moved a lot pre-market, but even a day that's half that, we could easily get through these highs and maybe close to this high. So that's my bias on the indices. We'll get into POIs next and some news. I mean, not really a lot of news. Just have 10 o'clock medium impact. So that's that. If you guys are enjoying the analysis so far, drop me a like. If you're new here, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. But that is the bias. That's the news. Let's kind of glance at gold real quick. This is a nice play. We talked about 50% of this fair value gap yesterday. Remember, these drawings are from yesterday. Hit, bink, sell off, right? And you had SMT at these 1 hour highs right here. Only problem is I don't really see where you could have gotten in overnight, because this high technically hasn't dug into any kind of POI. Maybe on one of these assets it did. No. So nice move to the downside though off this daily imbalance. 50% gets hit. The next day you see that reaction, right? We talked about how on the daily chart, if you're hitting a POI like this fair value gap, on the first day you hit it, you might see some kind of closure, right? But the next day, you'll get that move that you want to the downside or upside, depending on the point of interest. So you'll see those next day reactions, and that's kind of what you saw. We hit the POI, next day kind of sold off, right? Even if we didn't sell off hard, you can still get a piece of that move. Personally, I'm not awake during this, but that's gold. Honestly, I'm bearish on gold, so we'll tag that. Red. I'd rather just trade gold and silver, though, if you look at this. But obviously, my main focus is going to be indices. We're all-time highs. We're strong. Gold. You didn't really have a closure yesterday. You did on GBP gold, though. So, the bias is still short. You know, buy side of the curve, sell side of the curve, clear targets. So, oil we can glance at. Candle 2 closure here. Candle 3, you could look to trade down. But to be honest, we're in this daily imbalance. I don't know if I really want to trade oil over indices. You know, we can just have it marked bearish. But I'm going to go ahead and remove these. But yeah, my preference is to trade the indices today. So far, so good. So let's get into some POIs for the indices, right? We talked about bias, news. Let's do some POIs, and then we're going to do a giveaway at the end of the stream. So if you're new here, stick around, because we'll be giving away a subscription to the indicator that I use to trade, right? TTFM indicator. Watch, I can literally, like, I'm not, there's literally no drawings on my chart except for these lines I put up here, right? I turn it off. It does all the analysis for me. I don't have to do shit. And I can easily flip through the charts to get these drawings, right? And vertical lines and everything. So it makes it super easy instead of having to keep up with it manually. Just flip through charts. You can even set alerts. Like I have alerts set for the indicator. So we'll be giving away a 1 month subscription to this indicator at the end of the stream. POIs, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay. Clean up this. So we talked about NQ. Strong close. ES, strong close. 4 hour. Lower quick. I also like how you closed through these down close candles at this fair value gap right here. So that's great. Right? Came down, closed above. Then opening price. So I would look for this low to stay protected on the day to move higher. 4 hour. We talked about this imbalance right here. Pretty small, but it's holding price up. You can see for the past 4 hours. 1 hour. Not a bad structure for the 1 hour. This is a pretty clean structure. Like, turn on the sessions. You have your Asia session, London session, and this is kind of looking like that London reversal profile, classic bullish day, where we open up, put in the wick, low day formed in London, and then we look to trade the body higher for the day in New York. So, pretty clean. Just got to monitor that we've already swept previous day high and make sure that the structure of the lower time frames is supporting price higher. But we've dipped into this 1 hour imbalance slightly. So that's the only imbalance in this leg from here to here. Oh, sorry, the last imbalance in this leg from here to here. And it looks like the only one. Yeah. So I think we're chilling. We have a nice 4 hour sweep right here. So in the next 39, 40 minutes, we could get a candle 2 closure here on the 4 hour and look for some kind of 15-minute entry, right? You're already kind of seeing it form right here. S&T at this low, at the 4 hour lows. That's even better, right? S&T here. And you're already kind of seeing us maybe put in a protected swing within the next 10 minutes. Close above here. Stop here. You could look for something like this. 2R. But personally, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to enter this in the next 9 minutes because I want to wait. First off, that's going to be right at 9:30. But I want to wait for this candle 2 closure on the 4 hour. And I don't really see much on the 1 hour. It's kind of a little wicky. So it's one of those things where you need to zoom out and look for that closure. Yeah, someone's asking about NQ being the weaker one. You can see here we haven't swept this high yet. On NQ, we have on ES. And you could probably attribute the strength of ES to YM's strength, right? So off the rip, I agree. NQ definitely looks to be the weakest at the moment. But we need to see how we open, right? Because it could easily change. ES 4 hour, same thing. You have S&T at these 4 hour lows. 1 hour, again, don't really see much closure-wise I like. But this would be your protected low right here because you have S&T. This would be protected. We're watching this. Maybe protected low form on ES as well. So that's pretty much it. I don't really see much else besides that. Daily profile looks bullish. POIs, supporting price, bullish. Daily bias off the daily candle closures, bullish. Not really interested in YM. They didn't really talk about it. I'll tell you why. They already ran pretty hard. And you can easily keep running, right? We'll keep watching on it, or keep watching it. This candle here is kind of can be like messing some of you guys up the way it closed. But to be honest, we did hit a pretty major high. So I wouldn't mind seeing like weakness off YM at the open to sweep this low and then go higher, right? We could easily come down and sweep this low here, retrace some more to go higher. Doesn't matter to me. I'm pretty bullish though on these assets, you know, just off what I'm seeing pre-market. We'll watch and see. We'll be watching both, or all three, should I say. But that's my TED Talk. Thanks for coming. All right. I'm looking at the chat now. Sometimes I got to hide the chat so I can just get in my analysis flow state. Yeah, speed bumps. I mean, NQ has, or YM has not even made that deep of a retracement, as you can see, like the rest have. So maybe we take another trade on YM. I don't know. I'd love to hop in on another 30-minute, 3-minute entry. That one yesterday was super clean. Where was it? It was at, yeah, it was right here at the open, right? A little accumulation, sweep to low. We hopped in here. We just wrote it up. That was nice. That was one of those beautiful trades where like you got the 4-hour closure, bullish. You got the 1-hour closure, the 30-minute closure, the 15-minute closure, all aligned. You just hop in right at 10 o'clock. Stop below the protected low that's already formed. Called a positional entry. And then you just ride it up. If we look at the ADR. Damn, it doesn't get much cleaner than that, dude. When you're talking about daily profiles too. London low of the day. Distribute, right? Because typically what you want to see is these 33%. That's where you're going to get your Judas swing for the daily wick, right? The opposite direction. You manipulate towards that level. And you see it's literally holding that level, which is nice. Now we distribute to the other side of the range, right? That's your classic buy day. And this same concept can be applied for the weekly chart, right? This could be a 4-hour chart, and the week opens, you manipulate to one side of the range, and a classic buy week to the other side, right? So everything's pointing bullish. Everything's aligning for longs. I'm just wanting to see how we open now to choose which asset to trade and to see if the bias still holds. Because we don't have any news. Let me pull up, make sure we don't have any earnings. Double check. Trust me, I've thought of it all. Only thing that can fuck us up is a Trump tweet. Yeah, we don't have any earnings. Everything was pre-market. This was supposed to be today. I don't know why they moved it. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed that analysis, we got 20 likes on the stream. Can we get to like 40? If you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed the breakdown of what I'm seeing, why I'm feeling a certain way about the market. And that's the thing. Drop me a like. It helps. That's the thing. This is why I love trading. It's like a puzzle. Every morning, every day is different. There's no day that's the exact same as the another day, right? So it's always interesting. But all we're trying to do is use confluences, right? So you saw me pull out the ADR. You saw me turn on the daily profile sessions, right? You saw me going through, the daily closures, using POIs, what's supporting price, what isn't. Like stacking all those and putting all those pieces together help you get a read on the market and a feel for, where we're at, what you can reasonably expect for the day. What's the bias? How's it going to get there if it does move that direction? Because if you think about it, bias is like, where are we going? Up or down, right? Narrative is like, how are we going to get there? Think about it. If you're waiting for a bus is coming around. Would you get on the bus if you didn't know where it was going? No, right? So you don't have a bias going into the market. You don't know which direction to trade, right? Or what moves to get on side with. So you might see a setup, but you're just going to pattern trade that if you don't have a bias. You need to have some kind of feel for the market before you hop in and a plan. So that's bias. And then the narrative is, what route is that bus going to take to get to the destination, right? So the bias is like, it could be, what's the draw on liquidity? What's my bias? But also, narrative is like, how are we going to get there? So you wouldn't get on a bus that's going a mile away, but it's going to take, 20 hours to get there by going some alternate route, right? So that's like my analogy for bias and narrative. What ADR indicator is that? It is AR levels, average range levels by 2 degrees. Same people who made the TTFM1. I just have pretty much everything off except for the ADR for the past 5 days. You can do weekly, monthly ADR, monthly range, weekly range. Personally, I just use it for the day. Really want to see how we close here on the 4-hour. That'll be around 10 o'clock. Most of our trades, think about it. Like our trade yesterday was right at 10 o'clock. Our winner on Wednesday, 10:20. The one I tried to get in on Thursday, and my shit froze, but everyone else, other people took it. Pretty sure that was around 10 o'clock too. So it's like we're either going to get in before 9:30 and hold through it, or we're pretty much just going to wait till 10. Sometimes you can get something around 9:30 open on like a 30-minute. Those are pretty few and far between. But the market just opened. Let's watch. Got YM on the right, NQ middle, ES left. Remember, I talked about this low right here on YM on the 1 hour. How it might want to come down off that high that it swept for moving higher. So you're kind of seeing a mixed open now. Strength, weakness, somewhere in the middle, ES. But you did get that 15-minute closure here on NQ, right? So I talked about looking for this 2R. But personally, you'd have to enter here. 2R would be like right here. Personally, I'd rather just wait for this closure here at 10 o'clock. And you want to, if you're in that trade, you want to monitor this high. How do we react there? We're close to this low. This thing could easily just rip though. I mean, we're at all-time highs right now. But yeah, you want to monitor this high. That's current high day. Yeah, 2R will be here. I'm saying, man, don't play with NQ. That's like 130 handles. I mean, look at this 3-minute candle, or even like the 1-minute candle. Right off the rip at open. This candle's range is like 47 handles. The volatility is crazy. What's up, KDP? 27,700. Yeah, you want to monitor this low on YM, this high. And you're starting to kind of see ES pop. But we're up like, I'm up for the week. I think I'm up like 15 grand. Yeah, like personally, I mean, we did it. The idea was right too, remember? Just kind of got swept right at open on me. But that was a 5-minute entry. This is a 15-minute entry. So, like, if we pull up, I mean, let's see here. Let's pull up this week. Only taken oh, today's Friday. Oh, it's a new day of the month. Yeah, we should be up more than we are, honestly. That hardware thing kind of fucked us. But here's my P&L for the week. Wait. Just put it over here so you can watch NQ. We should have gotten a trade on that Wednesday, right? But yeah, took that small L right at open. You can see I entered at 925 on Tuesday. We got wicked out, and then it moved in our favor. Then we got short on ES for 10 grand. And then we got long on YM yesterday for 9,400. So we're up 15 something. What is it? 15.2 thousand. And we're up. This is a 2 hour trade. This is 2.2 minus 1. So 4.2 minus 1. 3.2. So we're up 3.2 R on the week. Should be more than that, but we'll get that stuff sorted. And you can go back and look at all the streams from this week and see those entries and exits live. Did I enter? No. I talked about how I want to see this thing close. But it was a valid trade, right? You're just entering on a candle 2. Morning, new here. Student of T-Trades. How are you? Good, man. Welcome. Pretty crazy how we didn't hit that low. Yeah, if you're new here, obviously if you're chatting, you subscribe because I got it in subscribers only mode. But what's up, Atoji? Yeah, personally, I don't like to trade these reversal candles. You just let the reversal form. What gave it away, though, that this might expand right at open was, 1, we got 930 open, but 2, how small the wick is, right? We just opened up, swept the previous candles low. There's SMT there as well with ES. And then came back inside the range and performed this protected swing. So, like, it was a pretty decent trade. It's just you're entering right before the open. And this thing could have easily just swept the low. Kind of like why I wanted to do before moving higher. But all in all, it was looking bearish. Or sorry, bullish. Right? We went over the pre-market levels, POIs, bias, daily profile, all that. And you're seeing it play out here. So that's what you want to see. You want to have a plan going in, a logical plan that you come up with, and then see if the market is following that. If it is, great, you can participate. If not, then you just wait for more information or stay out and come back tomorrow. But for the people who are bearish today, I want to maybe let me know why in the chat, because when I put the chat out this morning, it was like 55% bullish, 45% bearish. And then I went over why I was bullish. I was looking at the 8 a.m. 15-minute for value gap setup. Oh, you're talking about the hourly close. Like right here? Yeah, that same candle at 8 o'clock is this one here that hits the high. So we're thinking speed bump before moving higher, right? You gotta remember, these markets are correlated. Even though it doesn't look like they are at the open, they should, in theory, all move together very similarly, right? Just hasn't been the case recently. Yeah. Like even if you're seeing your setup on a lower time frame, you need to look at the higher time frames and be like, does a sell really make sense? Am I aligning myself with the daily candles expansion, or am I trading against it? And we already had sells earlier this week, and now we're seeing that weekly midweek reversal off the daily imbalance here. So like I'm not looking to short at all-time highs and be a hero and try and call a top. But yeah, it looks like you'll get the 2R on here. I mean, obviously I would be break even right now. Bang. If anyone took that, let me know. Personally, I was waiting for the closure here. Yeah. I need to, and one thing I want to work on this year as well is, the first thing is picking the right asset, right? Based on strength and weakness and my bias. But 2 is getting better at trading these candle 2s, right? Because you have to be more advanced, But one of the things I think that makes it higher probability is when you have SMT and you're trading a candle too that has a small wick, because reversal candles have these large wicks, right? Expansion candles have these small wicks. So if we open up and immediately sweep previous candles low, come back inside the range, and there's SMT there, that could be a high probability candle 2 trade, as long as it aligns with your bias, right? So, yeah, low key, if I was focusing on practicing those, that's kind of a missed trade right there. But, yeah, exactly. You're also entering right at open. You can do this later on in the morning, too. Like, we could chop in the morning, and then 10 o'clock rolls around, quickly sweep a low, do the same thing. So, but this thing could easily just run today. Like, if we pull up the daily range, right? Look at that. Talked about the Judas swing with the wick form, trade the body, right? That's what you're seeing here. It all's playing out. ES, YM. Yeah, NQ's the place to be for longs for sure. I mean, it's not giving any kind of entry though that I like. Just to rip it open. And also, I got burned entering right at 9:30 or 9:25. The other day, but that was a 5 minute, and this was a lot cleaner of a setup, especially with the candle 4 hour. So I'll journal that, and I need to be more aware of like these small little purges, you know, back inside the range, and then I even pointed out the SMT, right? But wanted to wait for this closure. We got 50 likes on the stream. I appreciate you guys. I bet we could hit we haven't hit 100 likes on the stream yet. I bet we could get 100. We could easily get to a hundo. Just put your mind to it, because we're gonna do a giveaway at the end of the stream as well. We're gonna give away one of a monthly for the indicator here, TTM indicator. But as the title says, right? Title of the stream, no clickbait. Friday all-time high. How high can we go today on the market? How high can we go? It's looking pretty high. Still think, here's gold. I still want to see this low on YM. But like, see how much easier of a read this daily profile is than this when it just runs overnight, you know? Like, this is so much easier to read and anticipate the expansion of the daily candle versus some overnight move, you know? Like, the move hasn't played out yet. It's waiting for the open, and you just get a piece of it. So much easier to anticipate. Like, those are the days you want to trade. At least me personally. How do I have the ADR set up to give me that range? I have it overlapped with the indicator, and the indicator just gives me daily candles no matter what time frame I'm on. But here's the settings you can screenshot. Pretty much just have ADR turned on, everything else turned off. And it's just the last 5 days. This chart kind of tells you what the last 5 daily ranges are. So we're at 64% of the average daily range today. So we definitely have some room to run still. I love a pullback to get long. I'm not worried about hitting this and then chopping because we're at all-time highs, baby. Sky's the limit. And the last 5 days have been kind of choppy. So we could easily blow past the average. These are kind of just guidelines. Good morning. Nikki? AU? Nikki L? I'm not sure how to say that. If I pronounce your name wrong, I apologize. What's oil doing? Oil dump. We're bearish on these. Anything you see tagged on the right, red, bearish, blue, bullish. I hope we get a little setup though. Like you could have gotten in here on this 15-minute. It's a little late in the morning though for this 4-hour, but need to see a closure off this high right here. The 4-hour imbalance here on gold. It'd be sick to have like a 5-minute entry on gold if we close candle 2 here. Could get something like this. Sweep this high. I was looking for S&T. Sweep this high. Come back down. Close below these down close candles. And do something like this to these lows. So we'll monitor that 1-hour closure the next 10 minutes or so off this high. And we'll also watch the indices to see what's up. But yeah, not looking to chase that opening pump. Really just looking for some kind of pullback. This is the only entry I even saw that made sense before that pump. We got 10 to 12 minutes until this 4-hour closes, and we get a new 4-hour, 1-hour, 30-minute, all that. So it's funny, right? We talked about how, NQ looked the weakest before the open. And now it's the strongest. You're seeing that weakness here on YM. You just got to be nimble. That's why it's I talked about I want to get better at picking the right asset to trade. Because I'm not merely making, the mistakes I make aren't strategy based. They're not emotional mistakes like over trading, oversizing, whatever. It's more about picking the wrong asset now. Oh, I longed weakness, and the trade didn't play out fully, and I only got 1 R instead of 2, right? Because we had some SMT at some lows or highs. The other assets were stronger. So that's like the stuff I'm trying to work out. And that's why it's nice to have these side-by-side charts and kind of get a read right at the open. We're still looking for this low on YM. What the heck is YM doing? I think everyone thinks that. Unless we get some kind of like 15-minute like setup, I don't really see us getting a setup on NQ. Or if we get some kind of like 15-minute closure, we could go in on a 1 minute and look for a long. But we need to like form an imbalance or something, and then head higher. Same with gold. We need to see, and I like this setup on gold because one, yeah, we might have expanded for the day a bit, but you have all these failure swings here and here. And two, we're hitting a POI on the 4 hour. And if we do come down here off this high, close candle 2 on the 1 hour, close below here like this. Like so. To do that, we're going to have to disrespect this imbalance and this imbalance, right? So that'll be more confluence. But right now, this one's holding. So. Yeah, YM just doesn't care in its own world. I mean, you're about to get a candle 2 closure bearish on YM off this high. -4 as well. General area. I mean, personally, I don't want to short this, right? Candle 2 closure. Looking for candle 3 continuation. So, if anything, I want to see how it reacts at this low. And maybe we could even get a trade back to the high. If it does just want to kind of consolidate after hitting this high, we could do like some kind of range play where it seeks other side of the range. Yeah, I'll be honest, not really much to look at on the smaller time frames because there's really no like closures on the higher time frames to make me want to drop lower. So what you'll find is I like to just stare at these higher time frames until they give me a reason to drop lower. That way I don't get sucked into some kind of lower time frame pattern trade, you know? Yeah, if nothing wants to pull back and it just wants to run, like that's fine. I'll just watch. I'm up for the week. I'm not trying to chase and give back anything. What do they say? Defense wins championships? Because those dumb trades you take, chasing, FOMO, whatever, they undo the good trades that you're already taking. But we got 6 minutes until 10 a.m. I used to trade options in this Discord, and this guy, he's Indian. And he'd always say, like, 10 a.m. trend time. 10 a.m. trend time. And he kind of had a point. That was before, like, I knew ICT or whatever. And we just hit 50K on YM as well. That's a big fig number. So, big magnet. But think about it. This is the highest NQ has ever been. Like, you're trading and making history right now. You're trading these markets. Like, dude, look. We are ripping. From 2020 to now. We're finally out of this bullshit. Dear Lord. Do I ever trade prop or personal? Just personal at the moment. I've toyed with the idea of copy trading accounts with my personal account. What was that accent? 10 a.m. trend time. That's my Indian accent. If you ever want to have a good Indian accent, all you do is like, let's say you want to like do an accent, right? All you got to do is like have a sentence and just jumble the words. So it's like, um, you open the door for me, right? All you got to do is like, door you open for me. It's so facts. Instead of being like, you open the door for me, or will you open the door for me? It's like, door you open for me? And I have Indian friends, so no, I'm not racist. But yeah, gold does not want to look like reverse off that high, so it's not really looking like a good short, in my opinion. Might untag it here soon. Get it off my watch list. Oil dumping. Yeah. Let's see. 3 minutes until this 15-minute closes and we get 10 a.m. This will be a valid candle 2 closure. I'd love to see like a 15-minute come into this imbalance. Close candle 2. And then we get a trade at like 10:15 to go long, right? On like a 1-minute scalp or something. That would be dope. But other than that, I don't see much besides either a 15-minute entry or a 1-minute entry on NQ that could play out if we're following the system. But YM now. Popping. Personally, if we close candle 2 here, I don't like how we left these equal lows. Personally. For a long. Yeah, everything's playing out. Just not giving entry except maybe here. Which I want to get better at getting these candle 2s. The key is to like look where this candle closes, look where this opens, and what does it do right when it opens? Does it sweep the low? Right? And come back in the range immediately? Change to delivery. This one was nice because it formed a protected swing with an imbalance here right before the open. So we would just hop in. Once we close above, stop with the low. YM's kind of messy. We can watch it though. I mean, maybe it'll show some signs of wanting to go higher because it could easily, start putting in some structure to give us an opportunity to go long. Because remember, we still have those highs on YM up here on the daily. So maybe we get a trade on YM if NQ just keeps going straight up. But if YM puts in some structure, then that could be it. But we're up almost 1% on NQ. And we got 62 likes. I appreciate you guys. We could easily get to 100. Now I'm getting pinged with alerts. So we got 10 o'clock, new 4 hour. So candle 2 closure here on ES. Sorry, in Q. Candle 3 closure on ES. In Q had the candle 2. YM. Candle 3 closure. So let's see. What's she want to do? What are those C2 and all you marked? I haven't marked anything. That's the indicator doing it. See? That's the video of it. I can just flip through. They're closures. Candle 2 closure. But I'm working on getting a Discord created. Like a free Discord. Is what I'm thinking. For the streaming. For the community here on YouTube. That'll be like our hub. Because right now there's nowhere for like you guys to talk and hang out. Outside of these stream chats, right? But let's lock in for a second. It's 10 a.m. Yeah, I want to see like YM. Sketchy, we haven't hit this low out, but like we did hit a POI. So you have a 4 hour candle 3 closure or candle 4 we can trade. A 1 hour candle 3 we can trade. 30-minute candle 3 we can trade. So if anything, I'd look for some kind of like 5-minute pullback to form a protected swing and go long, or a 3-minute, you know, off this 30-minute closure. It's just kind of weird, these equal lows, but yeah, I'm about to null this short idea on gold. Get rid of that. It's really just oil. $28,000. We're close. 28K's right here. Now this is price action. Exactly. Who the fuck wants to trade this nonsense? I like the clean one-sided, you know? But I know like people, especially me when I first started, I had trouble longing like at all-time highs. Like people are not comfortable getting long in this. But the beauty of how I trade using these closures, it's a continuation model. So like I don't want to see deep retracements, you know? I want to see this thing just run, run, run. I can keep getting pieces of it along the way. This thing just wants to run, dude. Damn, I was spot on with the title last night when I scheduled the stream. How high can we go? The indicator is in my description below this video. Shout out T-Trades. We're going to give away one of these subscriptions. These indicator subs at the end of the stream. Also, if you're looking to kind of get into journaling, there's also a TradeZella link down there as well. I've been using TradeZella for years. Yeah. Yeah, it's paid. It's like $40, I think. You don't need it to trade like this. You can just draw it out manually. Which ADR indicator? I need to have like a link where I just do like exclamation point indicators in the chat, and then you guys can just see the links for it all. I'll create that. That way I don't have to keep answering the same questions over and over. Oh, it's just average range levels by 2 degrees. Yeah. All right, I want to see some kind of pullback. Can we get a pullback for me? Let's get a pullback on YM. We got clear targets up higher. We need a Trump tweet. Never in my life would I be sitting here asking for a Trump tweet. Give me a Trump tweet where they misinterpret it, the market goes down a bit, and then they're like, "Oh wait, we misinterpreted it." Longs. I think Apple's also ripping. I think Apple had its earnings last night. Yeah, this shit's going up, bro. What's the rest of the market doing? Sorry, I'm just kind of flipping through these. My daddy always said, if you trade the news, you're going to be the one delivering it. Makes sense? My daddy said, if you end up trading the news, you're going to be the one delivering it, son. Because the peace talks. And the market is forward looking too. So, like, by the time they actually come to conclusion, the market's already going to be ripped back to all time highs. It's forward looking. So basically, once we reach an actual conclusion to the war, the market will have already priced it in. Does that make sense? Rather pissed off than pissed on, yeah. All right, here we go. A little pullback on YM. It's just kind of sketchy because you're longing the weakest one so far, you know? Not really what you want to do. And I've been trying not to trade the weaker assets. Let's see how it plays out. Because yesterday we longed the strongest one, which is YM, and it played out beautifully, while the rest kind of just lagged or sold off. There's also no closure on this 1 hour to get you long to trade away from, right? There's no 1 hour candle closures. So like, doesn't really fit the model, right? But you do have one here at least. It's just you have these equal lows that are sketchy. So we swept this high. Is it just gonna kind of do this broadening formation on us? We need to see how we react to this imbalance on YM. That's the key. What do I think about Bitcoin? I hold some Bitcoin. I think it's asymmetric risk reward. like put in what you can afford to lose. Like if Bitcoin goes to zero and I lose everything, like yeah, I might be upset, but it's not gonna affect my day-to-day life, my quality of life, right? But if Bitcoin rips to 1 million, then I'm gonna be up big. So the risk to reward is there, but only put in what you're willing to lose, in my opinion. But I believe like everything's going digital, so why not your money? Why not money going digital? You know? Do I ever take positional entries? Yeah, I took one yesterday on YM 3 minute right here. I just entered right at 10 o'clock right here on this candle. I'm about to go ahead and actually log into my broker. That's how you know it's getting serious. Yup. Logged in, gang. Technically, we're on a little bit of a win streak. Like I said, you want to see how this imbalance holds on YM. Not even dipping into the NASDAQ one. But I don't enter off fair value gaps. Like I wouldn't just put a limit here. I used to. I just enter off down close candles now, or up close candles. I guess you would call it opposing candles. But we just opened this new hourly candle, right? 10 o'clock. Just kind of sketchy because, like, if I enter here, we're going to hit a high immediately, pretty much. Like, does it hit that and kind of just keep chopping, or does it want to hit that and just push straight through? Because I'm looking for something like this. Like 2R to that high. Right? And I don't like these damn lows, bro. These darn lows. Three-minute. We'll wait for the 5-minute closure. I mean, it's the same time, minute 40. Look at that. Oil just looking really good, too. Just kind of wasn't paying attention to this entry, though. At 9:15, I was focused on indices. Got a risk for the biscuit. No risk, no Rari. What they say. We need that closure, though. Got a minute. I don't know if we're going to get it. Which is fine. I wouldn't mind a deeper retracement. But, I mean, these things are holding strong. I mean, like, maybe you could use... Personally, since they're so extended, like, I wouldn't be really looking for, like, a 15-minute entry on this anymore. Could. But I feel way more comfortable if, like, we put in a 15-minute candle closure and then use, like, a 1 minute to get, like, a nice scalp of the day on these. You didn't get that closure here on YM. So we gotta wait. It'd be okay if it does it on this next candle, but if it takes a few more candles to do it, then I'm not interested in it anymore. Because then it just looks like consolidation. Damn, I can't talk this morning. Kind of wacky looking. Right, there's our trade from yesterday. Pink, long here, sell out here. All we did was trade this candle expansion. Beauty, right? Enter once the wick forms. Hop out at the high. Easy money. Beautiful trade. See, that's more like it. Get up there. We funny AF. If NQ and what, kind of rolls over now to retrace, and YM just takes off. Push it to the limit. Yeah, look, gold just invalidating our idea for shorts. So I'm glad I got rid of that off the watch list. We're looking for a closure above here, so we can put a stop here. Projected low. And we still have 40. We'll still have 40 minutes left if we close above here in this hourly candle for expansion. So we let the wick form. Now we're looking to trade that body. I don't think I've ever traded YM back-to-back days. Ever. So this would be a first for me. I usually just like to trade NQ. But I'm cheating on it right now. Look, you're starting to see it maybe slow off a bit and seeing the strength here. It's kind of funny. We got a minute 40. Just so y'all know, like, I have this triple chart here for you guys. I also have a second monitor that has it as well, so I'm watching it. Exactly, like, you gotta spread the love around. You can't just trade only one asset. I mean, you can, but in my opinion, you can hurt your chances. It's gonna affect your performance long run. Because, like, if one's stronger, like yesterday, I would have just not taken a trade yesterday. But because I saw the strength in YM, it was an obvious setup, and it played out. But it's a double-edged sword, like, because you don't want to spread yourself too thin, So that's why I don't look at RTY. I kind of just look at these three. I'll look at some gold, some silver, some oil, and then, like, it goes from order of importance, like indices, then gold, and silver, then maybe some oil. And oil's been moving nicely because of the war recently. But before that, bro, it was so bad. And then maybe I'll swing some Forex overnight, but, like, that's rare. I'm thinking like a 2R up here. If we can get a closure. So far, we just kind of wicked that opening price, so it needs to get up there in the next 15 seconds. If it doesn't on this candle, I'll give it to the next candle maybe. We need to see what the other indices are doing. Yeah. Let's see. Gotta wait for that closure above. Because now I might just want to sweep this low one more time. Put another down close candle. then go higher. Yeah, it does feel weird. She ready? Is she gonna bust without us? It's annoying. I guess I could always do like 3 minute. I don't know. It feels kind of weird. Couldn't even close there on the 3 minute. Everything else is just consolidating up here at the moment. She's taunting us. Exactly. It's like, come on, don't you want to get in at this opening price? And then it's gonna and do either go up or just reverse down to these lows. It's kind of what I see. See, like it's not really looking like that quick reversal or retracement higher, because now it's kind of looking good, just like a consolidation, right? That's why you want it to kind of confirm a little bit quickly. If we don't confirm on this candle, I'm kind of not interested in it anymore, and I like to see this low swept before moving higher. And these 15 minutes didn't even come down into this imbalance, so we might not get a trade on those. They just keep ripping. Let everyone else FOMO into it. Edge maxing. But like, I don't know if you guys took the same trades I did this week, you should be up. So, not looking to give back any money. Any gains. Up a healthy like 3R, 3.2R. Think about if I do that every week. And we also missed trades, so we should be up more. We should be up at least another 2R. So like 5.2 on a week. Imagine if you're risking 10K per trade. That's 52 grand in a week. Do that 4 weeks. It's 200K a month, boy. See, I wanted to slow now. TGIF in play. Brother, look where we're at right now. TGIF would be like sweeping the previous day high and just kind of coming back in the weekly counter range. But that only really happens when the weekly profile is a classic expansion week and Friday. And we've been expanding from Tuesday to Thursday. We just started expanding yesterday. So this looks like a midweek reversal. And we're just going to expand through Friday. If you go back in the beginning of the stream where I was going through my analysis this morning, I talked about why I don't think we would sell off today. And then I went down lower time frames, looked at POIs, daily profile, all that. And it was just all pointing bullish. How many likes are we at? Let's see. We're at 68. We can easily get to 100. I know there's people in this stream who've been here since the beginning that haven't liked a single one. Come on. $100 likes and we'll do the giveaway. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Going live on Monday? That's the plan. I've been live every weekday for the past month now. Just having fun with it. Yeah, it was a nice, crazy pump at open. Like off the rip. Yeah, nobody's paying me to do these. I'm just on here. It'd be sick to have this low swept. Close above here. These don't close candles to go higher. That would be dope. We got 78. Let's go. Like train. See, now if you, it just looks like a consolidation at this point. And so you'd want to see the low of the consolidation be manipulated before moving higher, right? This might be one of the biggest streams I've ever done. I mean, we've got 400 something views and haven't even ended yet. It's cool to see the stream grow little by little. And the fun thing is, because there's not thousands of people in this stream, there's like 100 or so. When we do giveaways like funded accounts, indicators, TradeZella stuff, we've already given away 2 indicator subscriptions. A month free of TradeZella 2 days ago. So when you do these giveaways in these smaller streams, you have a way higher chance of winning, right? Because there's not that many people on here. Yeah, you scratch the algorithm's back, scratch yours. Appreciate it, Boomer. A T-Trade shout out on IG. Did he repost me on IG or something? Well, let's see. How come when I open up Instagram, this is the first thing I see? Latinas versus Snow Bunnies pool party. Who's going? What the hell? My algorithm knows me too well. Just kidding. Gatekeeping the stream. Yeah, we're not really doing much right now. Just kind of been chopping since this new hourly candle opened at 10 o'clock. So once again, we want to see how we reacted this low inside this imbalance. We're about halfway through this hourly candle. And we have these equal lows down here. Right. And you're about to get a 30-minute candle 2 closure. See what I mean? It kind of just looks like, at least on YM at these highs. But you do have S&T at this high. It's just, do I want to like short today? Probably not. If it doesn't close back inside the range here on the 5-minute, I could see it maybe coming down to these lows. So we need to see. But I'm not looking to just scalp against my bias, you know. But we can still like short term call where price will go and watch it play out, right? Just practice. Appreciate it. Jagsir. Walia. Tell it to my heart. I want to be able to play like my own music on here. So now I want to see it kind of close back above here pretty soon, or something like this. Stop would be down here. You need to do it kind of ASAP. Otherwise, this does not look like an expansion candle, right? We want to see a closure above here or some kind of long. And you're starting to see the other indices sell off, right? A bit. So we have a 15-minute imbalance here, 30-minute imbalance here. So we need to see how those react if we're going to get along on YM. One hour NQ. This candle? It's a tiny, tiny wick on this candle. I view projected swings like pretty simple. If it dipped into a fair value gap and closed back above the opposing candle's opening price, that's a protected swing, right? If it sweeps a low out, like here, closes back above, that's a protected swing. When they're overlapping, it's even better, you know? That's pretty much it. Does it take out a low and get the closure? Does it tap into an imbalance and we get the closure? Obviously, when you got to combine it with these higher time frame candle closures. But the best trades are like when the price opens up, forms a protected swing off to create the wick, the lower wick, and then confirms it, right? Close it back above, and you get to trade the body on the move higher. Like that's like ideally what I'm trying to do. But so far, there's no reason really to go long in here yet. I like to let the reversal form, right? Then look for that continuation entry instead of just blindly entering on a fair value gap. I like to use opposing candles. I could easily rage bait some people on here right now talking about IFEGs and how I don't like them. And then the chat would probably go crazy. Should I engagement for him? What is it? Y'all heard that you know who Mexico Dro is? Anyone know who this is? The rapper? What's he say? I ain't doing all that punk ass shit to go viral. Bitch ass talking like he on his cycle. Ooh. We're at 80 likes. So we're close. But I gotta stop cussing, dude. My parents got on to me about it. My parents called live on the stream yesterday. We put them on speaker. I'm trying to be different. I'm not trying to cuss. So I gotta get better at that. All right. 30-minute. You had candle 2 closure 30-minute on NQ, but it's against my bias for the day. Same with YM. I want to see it retrace, and then we can maybe get a setup, but hopefully it doesn't just roll over. Because I'm looking for longs. Overall. Right? And also, I feel like cussing on stream is just a bad look. I was raised better, you know? But is it cussing if you're just singing lyrics? That's the question. Honestly, like, these lows right here look pretty juicy. Because you've already kind of disrespected this 15-minute imbalance. We could get a 15-minute setup, you know, on YM. Because technically, this is a candle 4 continuation. It's just the weakest one. I'd rather just long strength off this pullback if we can get one. I'm thinking like 15-minute, 9 minutes, let this beefy candle kind of close. Maybe we get some kind of quick move back higher. Let me pull up the news, make sure. Cussing is cussing. I agree. Lamad. Any news? Not really. No real news. We'll try and keep the stream family friendly. All right, I'm kind of done watching YM. I'd rather just watch this. Technically, we can pull back to 50% of the previous 4 hour. What I'm kind of trying to gauge is this expansion met with expansion, right? Because if so, that's a reversal. I don't really see a 3-minute entry I would have liked in here. I'm not going to enter right there. Stop here when my bias is long, right? Because it really just looks like a consolidation at the time. And we were looking for a move like this on YM as well. Sweep to low to go higher. So realistically, I wouldn't have entered there. If anything, hit this imbalance here. Fill in like half of this 30-minute. If we are going to reverse. But see, like, that's why I don't want to chase, like, up here. It's like, just wait for the pullback. If this is indeed a pullback to go higher. Usually it's stair steps up, elevator down, but this time it was elevator up, elevator down. But if you guys are enjoying the stream, appreciate you guys being here on this Friday. Drop a like. If you're new here, welcome. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. You'll get alerted when I go live in the future. And the plan is to kind of go live every weekday at the moment. So, yeah, pretty deep retracement on YM there. I mean, these lows are sus. Personally, if I'm going to long something at this point, I'd rather just long off this pullback on NASDAQ or ES. See? Let's see. Pretty much filled in half this imbalance. Barely tapped into this one, like I said. I wanted to see. Swept out a little liquidity, you know. Was low. If you get a 5-minute closure here, you could go on like a 15-second. What'd I just do? I'm not a crackhead, though. I don't trade 15-second. But these are kind of equal. Yeah. Let me get off that before Before someone screenshots and is like, "You're a crackhead. What are you doing?" Hit the like. Am I watching the air show? I'm not a scalper really. I'm really like a day trader, like a true day trader, where I just look to capture a part of that daily move. My trades on average, winners are about an hour 30. My losers are about 15 minutes long or less. I'm saying, bro, I wouldn't know these stats if I wasn't journaling my trades. That's why I like TradeZilla so much, because it gives you reports on all that. I'm really just looking for like one good trade every day, because I size heavy on my trades. 5K, 8K, 10K is what I'm trying to bump it up to. So if I can get 2R on a 10K trade, it's 20 grand in a day. Do that a few times a week. Hell, even like I could literally, to pay my bills, I could size 10K on a trade, make 20 grand, and it would pay my bills for like months. I could take one trade a month if I wanted to. YM wants those lows. And that's how I'm able to trade full time, is like I don't live above my means. Like, yeah, I might have a nice car that I splurged on, but I can comfortably afford it. So if you're looking to trade full time, like, don't go out and just buy a bunch of dumb stuff. I didn't get that car until like last year. I've been trading for 6 years. You want TradeZilla, but you can't get yourself to buy something for trading. What's the ROI on journaling? Infinite. Porsche own. Who's leasing GT4 RSs? This ain't no car, you have motor cars. You guys know about that? How they just lease all those cars to the influencers? Yeah, if you're not tracking your performance, how can you expect to improve it? Don't make any sense. Like when I was doing some like one-on-one stuff, trading wise with people, first thing they got was a TradeZilla subscription when they work with me. And I can go in and look at their stats like mentor mode. All right. Would have been sick if this 15-minute kind of stayed down here and the new one swept real quick and we could hop in. Because now it just kind of looks like, I don't know. We need to see how this closes here in the next minute. Cario motor cars. One solid month and I'm quitting my job. See, I think you should keep your job until you can make double what you make at your job in a month consistently for like 3 or 4 months, maybe 6 months even. And then on top of that, even have like a year's worth of bills saved up. So there's no pressure on your trading. That's my personal take. So we're watching this 5-minute imbalance. How does that react? Because if anything, I wouldn't mind another sweep of this 15-minute low to then go long, right? Back to the high. So if this pushes price lower here on this new 15-minute candle, I'm fine with that. I just want to see us hit these basically equal lows now and come back inside the range for a trade like that, you know? something like that. And we would look to trade a candle 2 on a 15-minute, right? So we'd be looking to trade this sweep higher. But it needs to do it pretty quickly because this is a 15-minute candle. We're trading the 1 minute. So I'm looking for this. If you really wanted to short, like, this looks like a super easy 3-minute setup. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, you would want it to just come down here, close below, and just dump. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, compare this price action to, like, the chop we've been getting. Like, this is so clean, you know? Almost makes you want to second guess it because we haven't had clean PA like this in a minute. Yeah, we'll be trading against the daily candle expansion, right? And that's why it's easy to get sucked in on setups like this on the lower time frames. That's why I will sit on the higher time frames until they give me a reason to drop lower. Because you might miss the big picture. I mean, it's 10:40. Like, YM's kind of just chopped. Unless you got a piece of that big move at open on that 15-minute entry here, I don't see any opportunity, really, that was reasonable. You know, we could get a candle 3 closure. We close above here on the 15-minute. Just not seeing much that I like. Which is fine. We're green on the week, on the month. It's the first day of a new month. Is it summer yet, or is it still spring? My pattern trading ass wants to short this so bad. uh, yeah, you get some SMTs with YM here. Obviously, this thing's been selling. I don't know. We need to watch and see. I kind of want to sweep this low one last time to kind of do like that breaker pattern to go higher. I kind of want it to sell off a bit and see how we react at this low. I want to see something like this, you know, or maybe even like put in some down close candles, close above it, hop in for entry, you know. It could kind of just slowly push back up though, grind back up, and we could get a closure here on like a 15-minute, or sorry, a 30-minute. Let's watch. I think the 3 minutes looking pretty clean. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't see too much like jumping off the chart at me. Kind of just like FOMO ran the right at open and then consolidated, and I think it's kind of punishing some people who chase now. So, and shorting would go against my daily bias, right? We talked about it. Go back to the beginning of the stream. Top down analysis, daily profile, use the ADR to help us, right? Manipulate into 33%, expand to ADR. Like perfect. Talked about weekly profile. daily POIs, right? Off this imbalance here, midweek reversal. So like it all was lining up for bulls, for longs, right? Just couldn't really bring myself to buy right here above this down close candle because it was right at open and we hadn't had that 4-hour closure yet. So being picky has kept me in the game. But we're about to get a candle to closure on the hourly. Like I said, I want to see these lows swept out again. It just kind of looks like reversal met with a reversal, which is a reverse. Sorry, expansion met with expansion, which is a reversal. And you're kind of seeing that buy side to sell side of the curve. So I want to short this, to be honest, but I'm not going to because it's against my bias for the day. So it would look something like this. Close below there, and I would let it get short like here. But that's like going against the bias, right? In the daily candle closures, in the weekly profile, in the daily profile, right? So I'm not going to do it. I've been burned too many times. And like it could work out, right? But all you're doing is building bad habits by doing that. You know? Because it probably isn't going to work out the majority of the time. So you're probably hurting your profitability long term by doing that. Because like when you make money on a bad trade, because there's a difference between a good trade and a bad trade, right? A good loss, a bad loss. A good win, a bad win. And those bad wins just reinforce bad habits. We're at 82 likes. Can we get to 100 and we'll do the giveaway? 100 likes. That's 18 more likes. And we got 125 people in here right now. Because we're going to give away one of these indicator subscriptions right here. The TTFM indicator that so beautifully paints the analysis on our chart for us. We don't have to lift a finger. We're 85 likes. Let's go. We're close. 15 more. We'll give away an indicator. Tyler says he's been working on fixing those FOMO and chasing habits I've had last year in the first few months. I think this is progressing to flip all that mindset issues. Almost I've been trading nowadays. Already in? In what? There's no position on my screen. I'm logged in, but I'm not in a trade. My gremlin. That's been my gremlin. All right, YM. Telling you these lows, man. Sus. We never got that sweep here to go higher. Right? He's closed back below this low. And so now you're seeing it want to probably take this low out. And that's kind of what you don't want to see, right? It's kind of this broadening formation. Seeking and destroying both sides of the range. But these are holding pretty strong. I mean, ES is somewhere in the middle, right? NQ strongest. We're about to get a new hourly candle. I still think there's some juice in the tank to go long. At least back to the high. Would love it to see it drop on the new hourly candle in 5 minutes. Because that'll be an hourly imbalance. And then react out of that. back to the high. And that'll probably be like all that's left of the tank. Jag said, give 20 more likes, guys. I want to win the indicator. We're at 86, 87. So you just need about 13 more. It helps me out. Helps kind of push the stream out a little bit. Lets me know I'm doing a good job. I tried any other businesses before I made money with trading. When I was in high school, I worked at a golf course, washing golf carts, like cleaning clubs, doing the range, all that. And then I worked, that was like for a few years. Then I worked at a taco restaurant, like a Mexican restaurant, Tex-Mex, in college. What else? Then I graduated, applied to dental school. While I was applying, I got into trading, like seriously, like watching it every day. And then worked at a tourist trap, like barbecue restaurant, docking boats for tips and like bar backing, food running, all that. See you, Marco. Thanks for coming by. And then I started getting into like real estate. Worked for a startup, like real estate data company. We're at 90 likes. We need 10 more. 10 more before the giveaway. Here we go. 100 likes equals indicator giveaway. Maybe that'll help. Which indicator, you might ask? This one. Am I going to be streaming on YouTube often? Yeah, I've been streaming every day, every weekday for the past like month. Plans to keep it rolling. We're at 94 now. I think this is helping. Maybe people are watching with the volume off. Which I don't know. Doesn't affect me. I like to yap. And there's nothing going on. What we got? 95. 95. 5 more. And you could be the winner of this. Only 100-something people in here. You have a way higher chance of winning something here than any other stream, probably. If that's what you're here for. It's just a mooch. Do I have educational videos? I have trade recaps. I really don't have like step-by-step strategy. Because like you can just go to T's channel and find that. I'm really just here to trade it live. A Discord? Yeah, I'm working on it. Maybe I'll craft it up this weekend. I've been busy. My family's in town this weekend. I've been streaming every day. I'm gonna go to the gym after this. 99. We need one more. One more like. We gonna get it. We'll do a giveaway. I'll literally pull it up right now. One more like. Oh, there we go. 101. Bang. Where's the emoji? Where's the check mark? Done. He said, I gave it. I'll be one of the biggest streamers in the next 2 years. Oh, I appreciate it, man. We'll see. I'm not really here to like be the biggest or the baddest. I'm really just here to show what's possible. Because there's a time where I wasn't making the money I'm making now, but it pays off, right? It's just like going to the gym. Keep showing up, get a little bit better each day. You don't see results right away, but you start to get that like sixth sense, you know, of like which trades to take, which ones to stay out of, according to your system. All right, let's do the giveaway. Here we go. You guys see this? All right, keyword is going to be trade. So let's go ahead. Let's start it up. Keyword. Or should I say giveaway. Trade. Trade. And you don't have to spam it. Once you say it in here once, it just puts your name in. But you can spam it if you want. Don't matter to me. But shout out T-Trades. For one, creating this indicator. Two, giving me some codes to give away. We got 29 something people entered. We'll let it run for a couple minutes. And once you're in, you're in. We'll let it run for a few minutes, get everybody in, and then that'll be that. I'll make this smaller. But right here, like 1 hour wise, you can see we put in that closure, right? We're about to close below these up close candles. I'm just not the fan. Like I want to see us sweep these lows in this hourly imbalance to go higher. So maybe we'll chill out on stream for a little longer than usual to see what we get. Like I said, I'm not looking to short this. It's against my bias. Everything's screaming longs. Even the weekly profile. I could see why people would want to go short on this for like a TGIF kind of setup. But I don't know, man. Think about it. YM's so close to these equal lows. It could easily reverse off there, back in the range. That would help in Q reverse as well. Just doesn't really make sense. Like, doesn't make it doesn't seem high probability, you know? And if I did win on that, it'd just be building a bad habit. I go to the week Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sorry, I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week. All right. Last call on the giveaway. 38 people in here. Your name is probably in here. I'll scroll it. If you type trade. Last call. You got 48 seconds on this 5-minute candle. Once this 5-minute candle closes, I'm choosing a winner. Trade. I'm trying to trade. I'm trying to take a trade. Trust me. If someone's joining right now, they're probably like, what the fuck is going on? All right, 10 seconds. And you have SMT at these lows now with ES and YM. So Let's see. All right. I'm choosing a winner. In 3, 2, 1. Choosing winner. Uh-oh. It's the guy who said it's his first time in the stream, and he said he wanted to win the giveaway. He won. Jagster? Congrats. There we go. So it's rigged. If you are the winner, what I want you to do is send me a DM on X. Send me a DM on Instagram, whichever. Look at that. Be positive. Believe in God. 100%. Send me a DM on socials. Just send me a screenshot of you logged into your, Google account that you're watching the stream on. And I will send you the code for 1 month free to try out the indicator. Easy as that. Send me a DM. All right, Carson. Peace out. I'll be honest, guys. It's not looking like we're going to get anything today. I mean, we have S&T down here at this imbalance. We could push up. But I'm up on the week. You guys should be too if you were kind of following along. Maybe you took some other trades too. But my socials are in the chat right there. We just did the giveaway. To recap, if you want to go back and see kind of why I was bullish today with the daily profile, the weekly profile, we talked about bias, POIs that I was watching on the 4 hour as well. Tiny imbalance here. Talked about SMT here. All that, right? Potential 15-minute entry right before the open right here. Stop here. Did not expect a big pump like that, but we're at all-time highs now. So, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I think we're going to call it here. If you're new, once again, welcome. Like, subscribe. It helps me out. And if you're interested in joining us next time, hit the notification button because that's going to give you alerts for when we go live next week. So, I'll see you guys later. Have a blessed weekend. Peace out.